welcome to the smoothie demo. All right, welcome everyone. Go ahead and type in the chat where are you calling in from and what beverage are you sipping on right now. I got some water and I'm going to put a straw in my water. Why? Because it's fun. Go ahead, type in the chat where are you calling in from and what are you sipping on right now? What are you sipping on right now? I am sipping on some water. All right, so we're gonna get started in just a moment. We're just waiting for everybody to come on in. And just a smidgen of housekeeping stuff, guys, just a smidgen. I'm gonna ask everybody to keep themselves on mute. And I'm gonna ask everyone to just turn your cameras off, just for now, okay? We find that it's a little safer when we do that. So go ahead and turn your videos off, and we're gonna communicate all through the chat. This entire time, we're gonna communicate through the chat, and we are going to have a fantastic time. I promise, pinky promise, all of it. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, type in the chat, home office, Washington, D.C., water, good. Good. T, where are you calling in from? We got LA, we got Kentucky, we got Baltimore. Fantastic. So another little tiny piece of housekeeping, guys, that if for some wackadoodle reason the internet decides not to work for us, which it should not be a problem, then just hang out right where you are. Caitlin is my assistant. She's on today. Say, hey, Caitlin, just wave. There she is. And she'll entertain you as I come back on. But it's not going to happen. Things are going to be fantastic. All right. Hello, everyone. Let's see how many people do we have for all of you. Let me just introduce myself before we get going. And actually, let me introduce myself. My name is Tina McDermott. I have been a health and wellness coach for 20 years. This is my love. This is my passion. And there's nothing better that I want to do than teach you how to be healthy, vibrant, and free. And what I have found is I have such a passion for cooking and feeding people. That's the Italian in me. You might not have known that from McDermott, but I married an Irishman. So yeah, that's the Italian in me. I just love to feed people. And what I found is when I teach with food, people get it. They just get it. And the weight loss comes right off and people are healthy, vibrant, and free. And life is awesome. Life is awesome. Enough about me. Let me tell you what we're all going to do. Are you all in the right place? Put smoothies in the chat if you feel like if you're in the right place. Put smoothies in the chat if you are in the right place. For the recipe, ingredients, and book. Yep. Email Portia for the recipes. Good. Smoothies if you're in the right place. Fantastic. Caitlin, do we have my video pinned? Just double checking and recording. Are we recording?
Yes, on both.
Yay. All right. Fantastic. Always have to double check these things because you never know with me. You just never know. All right. So let me tell you which smoothies we're going to make. And let's just do one at a time because I can make smoothies all day long for you. I think I've got 4 jars ready over there and 3 different containers. So we're gonna have a good time here. Who makes their own smoothies? If you make your own smoothies, type in the chat what kind of smoothie you normally like to make for yourself. Type in the smoothie, what kind of smoothie you like to make for yourself. And here's the thing, guys, I'm not going to just teach you my recipes and how to make smoothies. My goal is to make you the smoothie queen or king of your own, okay? And what I'm going to do is teach you the basics of smoothie making, and then I'm going to show you some of my recipes. Sound good? All right. If you go, oh, and here's the thing. I cannot see your gorgeous faces because we're here. You're in my kitchen. We're on a webinar. And basically all I see is my camera and whatever words you type into that chat. So I am a very interactive person and we are going to make the best of this webinar. We're going to have a really good time. And you know what that requires? That requires for you to be with me and type in that chat. So if you're with me 100%, type I'm in the chat. 100% stay with me. Close out the browsers. Close down that phone. Let's have some fun. Type I'm in the chat and type in, let me just see, banana, blueberry ice, almond milk. Good. Post-run smoothie, frozen banana, protein powder, peanut butter, good. Fruit, whatever you have, protein powder, good. Breakfast green smoothie, coconut, good. Guys are fantastic. Greens, oh my gosh, I am going to rock your world even more. You guys are on it, on it, on it, on it. Here's the deal. With every single meal, whether it's a smoothie, a lunch, a dinner, a snack, we need to have a combination of vegetables and or fruit, some protein, and a good fat. Same thing with smoothies. We're going to have a very good protein. So let's talk a little bit about protein powders, okay? Now, I don't want you to have to tell me what protein powder you have or what kind of protein powder you're eating. I'm just going to tell you a little story. I was a bodybuilder many years ago, and many years ago, and I would eat this particular brand of protein powder as 2 meals a day, because that's what you need to do in order to bulk up muscles. Of course, I was eating other food too, because boy, when you are a cyclist and a bodybuilder, you eat a lot, okay? Well, I started getting these migraine headaches, and I started passing out. And I would go to lift something and I would just like, oh my God, I'm gonna black out. My blood pressure was off. Something was so off with my body. And come to find out, I had some heavy metal poisoning from that protein powder. Little did I know, I was not studying nutrition at the time. It wasn't my love, my passion. For me, in my early 30s, it was more, I want to look good. I don't care about anything else. I just want to look good. And I'm not about that any longer. I'm 53, and I've been, especially since my sister got cancer, and she passed away from cancer. And now my aunt just passed away from cancer this past weekend. Oh my gosh. My life has been about teaching the world how they can eat very, very healthy so that they are free from dis-ease. They're free from any of the diets that are out there. Somebody type in the chat, capital D, capital I, capital E with a small t. Somebody type that in the chat. I want to see it in the chat. Capital D, capital I, capital E with a small t. What do we see in there? We see diet. We don't do diets. I don't do diets. I do nutrition plans. I do eating healthy. Okay. So one of the biggest pieces when it comes to making smoothies, I bet you didn't realize you were going to get this big education here, is make sure that your protein powder is a very healthy protein powder. Rule number 1, if it's organic, you're safe. You're safe. There's no artificial sugars. There's not going to be heavy metal poisoning. There's not going to be any of that stuff. Okay. I'm not telling you you have to go organic. I'm telling you organic, you're free from any of the ingredients. Okay. Now, the one that I like is that the name is Garden of Life. Let's get a close up on that, Caitlin. Garden of Life. And you see that this is a whey protein powder made from dairy. So if you can handle dairy, then it's not organic, but there are no artificial ingredients in this. Okay. Now stay on the close up here. If not the whey, I also have a bone broth protein powder that I get from Dr. Axe or Ancient Nutrition. This is salted caramel. Oh my gosh, delicious. If you are 45 plus, you need more collagen in your life, for your stomach, for your skin, for your connective tissues. Eat the bone broth. It is fantastic, and no, it does not taste like bone. Okay. And other protein powders, Vega, very, very good brand. Sun Warrior is another good brand. And I'm sure I can think of a couple other brands. It's in my smoothie ebook. So if you want my smoothie ebook, just type in your email in the chat and at the end, and I'll make sure that you get my smoothie ebook. Okay. Where I have all of these smoothies, not just the ones that I'm doing today, but all of them. And I'm not sure if I gave them to the host or not. So number 1, protein. Number 2, you're going to put vegetables in most of your smoothies. I've got some kale, I've got some broccoli, I've got some mixed greens over here, and a fruit or a fruit. Over here, I've got some pears, bananas, apples, cranberries. I've got some cranberries as well. And a good fat. So on this tray over here, I've got all of the good fats, from nuts to seeds to coconut butter. This is what we're going to make the pina colada with, the coconut butter. Okay, chia seeds, flax seeds, they're all fantastic. A note about flax seeds, if you're going to be using flax seeds, do not buy them already ground. You grind them yourself, you store them in the freezer, otherwise they go rancid. And that goes for almost any of the seeds, like the chia seeds or whatnot. You grind them yourself. Okay, so here are all the smoothies that we're going to make today. Pumpkin pie smoothie, cranberry holiday smoothie, warm pear ginger smoothie, apple pie smoothie, and pina colada, because somebody had asked for pina colada today. Which one are we going to do first? Which one are we going to do first? Warm apple pie. Let's do the warm pear ginger. Does that sound good? Let's do the warm pear ginger, okay? And let's get started. Now, I use a Vitamix. Somebody type warm pear ginger in the chat, just so that I know you're all with me. I use a Vitamix. I've had this Vitamix 10 years maybe. I've had to replace one $13 part, this little groove in here. That's it, one $13 part. And I have 3 canisters. Lucky me, because I use this sometimes twice a day, and I do a lot of these cooking classes and show people. You do not need a high-powered blender to do this. Who here has a Vitamix? Type Vitamix in the chat if you have a Vitamix. If you have a Vitamix, type Vitamix in the chat. Go ahead and type Vitamix in the chat if you have a Vitamix. If you do, I hope that you use it on a normal basis. Now, here's the thing. For years, I used a stick blender before I had my Vitamix, because it was so easy. You put all the ingredients in the wide mouth mason jar. Make sure you get a stick blender that fits. This new one that I bought doesn't fit, but I don't use it any longer, but to make soups and stuff. But most immersion blenders will fit into this wide mouth, and you can just put that immersion blender right in that wide mouth mason jar, and away you go. And cleanup is literally a snap. You rinse it under the sink, warm water, and throw it in the strainer, and away you go. So immersion blender, super easy. They've got all of these gadgets out there, all of these different blenders that cost a fortune. This blender, Vitamix, I love. Does anybody have a Vitamix? Nobody typed in the chat. I think that you're all sleeping if I don't hear you in the chat. So nobody has a Vitamix, huh? It's all good. Whatever blender you have is perfectly fine with me. Ninja's great. Ninja's great. Okay. Blendtec. I've never used a Blendtec. I wonder how that is. Do you like that Blendtec? No Vitamix. Ninja. You got the Ninja. Yeah, Ninja blender. Okay, I've not used those, so I don't know how they work. And some of them you have to put the jar on top, and then you mix it in the jar. I don't know if that's messy or not, but I love the Vitamix, and this is what we're going to do today. We're going to make the warm pear ginger. Now you're going to say, whoa, warm, that sounds a little yucky yuck. Let me tell you, it's not. When you do this warm pear ginger, it's cold. It gets a little cold this time of the year. And we're used to, okay, let me have a cold smoothie. Fine, have your cold smoothie. When it gets cold out and you don't want cold smoothies anymore, I've been eating them for years. I get tired of them. We want warm. Oh my gosh, it is delicious and amazing for your body. I already heated up some water. We do not need boiling water. We do not need boiling water. And I'm going to put about 1.5 cups of water in here. Yeah, I boiled it earlier, so I'm not worried about having to boil water. Warm water is, who thinks that this warm pear ginger smoothie sounds good? If you think that this warm pear ginger smoothie sounds good, type that in the chat. Type good in the chat. Type good in the chat. We're going to use, type good. Yeah, all right, good. We're going to use real ginger. You can use powdered ginger, but I am completely out of my powdered ginger. And I always have fresh ginger in the house. As a matter of fact, I put together for you an entire entourage of spices for you today. Who wants to go through the spice lesson real quick before I go on to the rest of the smoothie, the warm pear ginger smoothie? Who wants to go through the spices? Put spices in the chat. Okay, sounds amazing. Spices, you want to look at the spices. Let's do a close-up and let's go through the spices one by one, okay? I put this beautiful little display together for you. Let me move this out of the way and a couple other things out of the way. Let's go into our spices. This is fresh ginger, okay? Now you can buy it powdered, but as you can see, I am completely out of powdered ginger. They say to peel it and then chop it up into little inch pieces and freeze it. That's exactly what I do. I put it in a little container and I freeze it. Now, you can use an inch in your smoothie or a half an inch or whatever you want. Skin on everything, I throw the whole thing in. You can buy it powdered, it's fine, but if you want amazing anti-inflammatory effects, get the fresh ginger, use it fresh. Who knows what this is? Who knows what this is? Does anybody know what this is? Does anybody know what this little nut is? I just gave you the, thank you. This is a nutmeg, and if you want the best dessert in town, you get one of these little graters. I dedicate it specifically to my nutmeg, and not that the warm pear ginger smoothie needs nutmeg, but you grind it right into whatever it is that you're using. Be careful of your fingers, but this is nutmeg. Do it fresh, perfectly fine to get it powdered as well. So back to the perfectly fine to get it powdered as well. Who here knows what mace is? Mace is the outer shell of the nutmeg ground up. Very powerful, it's delicious. If you're using mace, you only probably need a 1/4 teaspoon per recipe. And it's not instead of nutmeg, it would complement the nutmeg, but remember, it's powerful. So be careful with the mace. Who knows what these are? Who knows what these here are? Let me see if I can get a little closer here. Who knows what those things are? That's all I had left of the whole ones. But what are those? Somebody put them in the chat. Good. Cloves. Yeah, they're cloves. Sorry, it's hard to see. Oh, you use nutmeg in soups. Very nice. So that's all I had of the whole cloves. And here are the ground ones. I tend to put things in jars. And when I make mixes, I put them in jars as well. Who knows what this is? Who knows what these little beautiful pods are? Who knows what these beautiful pods are? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to make a tea with them. There's this wonderful yogi tea that I make. It's cardamom. Yeah, they're cardamom pods. You can buy them whole and then grind them up yourself, or just buy it already ground, okay? Now this one might be a little stumping everybody. Does anybody know what these little round seeds are? Does anybody know what these little round seeds are? Yeah, this one, it's not cardamom. I think that it's allspice. This is allspice. Okay, allspice, another absolutely delicious sweet spice, right? They're all sweet spices. Now, I know you all know what these things are, right? This is actually what ginger looks like until you put it in a powdered form, and there is the powdered ginger. Okay, let's go back to center. Go back to regular. So what I do is I get all of my seasonings out, all of my spices out, my sweet spices, and I make myself an apple pie mix. I make myself a gingerbread spice mix. I make myself a pumpkin pie mix. This is actually one that I bought, and I have to remake because I ran out of ginger, so I couldn't make more pumpkin pie spice. And this is just plain cinnamon, because sometimes you just want cinnamon by itself. Did you know that cinnamon lowers your blood sugar? Fantastic for anybody who has blood sugar issues. You were stumped by the cardamom, huh? It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Look up the yogi tea, and you can make an amazing tea with, I think it's cardamom and ginger and cinnamon. Absolutely wonderful. Now, any of these spices, you can grind yourself in a coffee grinder that you just dedicate to your spices, or you can get a mortar and pestle and you can grind them up. It's a lot harder, but this is the way we used to do it, with the mortar and pestle, and work your muscles. You don't have to go to the gym. You can just grind your spices. And so there you have it, my little spice display for you. Let me put that away. Okay, I think we were doing smoothies. So let's get back to our warm pear ginger smoothie. So I think we put the ginger in. Let me see. I want to follow my recipe so that I don't go off course, because I make up my smoothies as I go along for the most part, and I just make sure that I have a vegetable and or a fruit, liquid, protein, fat in every single what do you call it, smoothie that I make. This one calls for hemp seeds. I store all of my seeds in the freezer just to keep them nice and fresh, especially the hemp seeds. I don't store chia seeds in the freezer or flax seeds if they're whole, but once I grind them, then I put them in the freezer. Hemp seeds are full of fat as well as protein. So if you don't have a protein powder, you can just put a little extra hemp seeds in there. So we're going to put some hemp seeds in there, a teaspoon of maple syrup. Who here is sugar sensitive? Who here has a hard time with sugar, cannot process sugar? If you have a hard time with sugar, then you can use a maple extract as opposed to actual maple syrup. Please do not use the maple syrup that they use for pancakes, the commercialized one that has high fructose corn syrup, because it'll give you a non-alcoholic fatty liver. Use the real maple syrup or a maple extract. I think I even have some in my refrigerator. If anybody knows me, I stink at measuring, and yeah, I call myself the inspirational lazy cook. So I normally don't even have these spoons out here and do all of this. I just kind of throw everything in. 2 to 3 tablespoons of almond butter. Now here's the thing. I already have a blender that's going to blend this stuff up. Why not just use almonds? I buy raw almonds and I toast them up myself. Raw almonds and I toast them up myself, and I'm going to throw those right in there, because you know, I could use some peanut butter if I want, but make sure your peanut butter is organic. And if not organic, make sure that it doesn't have sugar in it, because most peanut butter brands, sometimes even the organic ones, have sugar in them. So just make sure it doesn't have sugar in it, okay? When it comes to the peanut butter, even the almond butter. So I bought this one known brand, brought it home, I think it was Maranatha, and it had sugar in it. I was so upset, I had to bring it back. This one doesn't have sugar, but I haven't stirred it up yet. I get my hand mixer in there with the blades and mix all of that up so that it mixes in all of that oil. I haven't opened it yet. We're using almonds, straight up almonds. How easy is that? Straight up almonds, and less expensive to use the straight up almonds. Why not? So we have the spices, we have a fat in there, 2 fats, right? We got the hemp, which is also a protein, the almonds, which is also a protein and a fat for our fat. Let's see what else we have to put in there. Water, or the unsweetened almond milk. If you wanted to do almond milk, you might as well. It's fine. You can put the warmed almond milk in here, but we already have almonds in the blender. And how do you make almond milk with water and almonds? So I have almond milk right here, but we're not going to use it. I already have the water and the almonds. We're good. And then we're going to use a scoop of vanilla protein powder for this. Did we forget a pear? I didn't put the pear in yet, did I? Okay, let's get the pear. You put the protein powder. Always put the liquid in before the protein powder. Now, if you don't want to use a protein powder, go ahead and use a full-fat, unsweetened, plain yogurt. Here's one that I have. I get it from Aldi's. It's organic. If you don't do organic, make sure it's RBGH free. RBGH, a recombinant bovine growth hormone. It's genetically modified. It's what they inject the cows with to make them make more milk. And it's the genetically modified substances are full of pesticides. They transmit to your gut flora. You don't want that. RBGH free or organic milk. Unfortunately, my refrigerator was so full that this froze. Oh, I guess I had it out long enough that it is not as frozen. But if you didn't want to use the protein powder, you wanted to use some yogurt, go ahead and use the yogurt, but decrease the amount of liquid. Okay, I would probably put a cup of yogurt and a half a cup of warm water in there. Okay, you guys good? Next, we're going to put a pear, and I forgot to wash them. So I'm going to wash this pear real quick.
And Tina, while you're doing that, there's a couple questions.
Yeah.
Is protein powder okay for kids?
Great question. If your protein powder is free from artificial ingredients, artificial sugars, here's the deal, guys. If a third grader can't read it and understand it, should you eat it? So if there is anything artificial, and most protein powders have a lot of artificial things in it that is terrible for children. But if you get one of these really good ones, don't give them the bone broth. They don't need that right now. I mean, you can. It's not going to hurt them. It's good for them. But you need it more than the child does. But this whey protein powder, fantastic for children. Absolutely. Any of these smoothies that I make sure that the protein powder is a good protein powder. And fantastic question. Thank you for that question. Any other questions?
Yeah, one more. How do you substitute maple extract? Is it a smaller amount?
Give me a second. I know I have some in here. Yeah, you're not going to put a whole teaspoon. Where is it? I have all of these extracts in here. I found it. Yeah, so what did I put? A teaspoon of maple syrup in there? I would put a 1/4 teaspoon of maple extract. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of maple extract, and don't worry about the rest of the liquid stuff. Just put that in there and you'll get this wonderful, this one is from Frontier. It's the name brand. I get this from My Organic Market, the maple extract. And oh my gosh, I think I have a 1/4 teaspoon left in there. But yeah, good question. Really good question. A 1/4 teaspoon, and then taste it. You know, if you taste it and you're like, this needs a little bit more, then add a little bit more. But I would start with a 1/4 teaspoon. Absolutely start with a 1/4 teaspoon. That's my compost pile over there. Okay. So what do we have in here? We have a fruit, we have liquid, we have protein, we have our spices, we have a fat. Now, all we need to do is make a smoothie out of it and blend it up. This is a meal. And honestly, let me do this and then I'll talk, okay? I heard some crunching in there. I'm going to do a little more. All righty, there we go. Now we have our warm pear ginger smoothie. What did I grind? I blend it for like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe more, maybe less. It all depends on your blender. Look how beautiful that is. And you see the steam coming out of it. It is delicious and so good for you. And what I was saying is that honestly, this is wonderful the way it is. But the only thing that's truly missing from this are vegetables. I normally put some kale, some spinach, sometimes broccoli, believe it or not, in my smoothies. So I get extra vegetables for the day. So sometimes you just don't want that for breakfast. So I'll make sure that I have a huge salad for lunch that full of kale, full of all wonderful nutritious vegetables, because the honest to goodness truth is you need to be eating 10 to 12 cups of vegetables a day. How many cups of vegetables do you get a day? Go ahead, type it in the chat. How many cups of vegetables do you get every day? How many cups of vegetables do you get a day? Type that in the chat. How many cups of vegetables do you get a day? Okay. Yeah, you get that. Vegetables are life. I want you to remember, vegetables are life. And unfortunately, the ones that we chose here so far do not have a lot of vegetables in it. But you know what? Who's to say you can't put spinach in here? Who's to say you can't put spinach in here? Spinach is very benign. Not the mixed green mix, but actually spinach. It's very benign and you probably wouldn't taste it. I love using my mason jars, and I get these plastic lids. You have to buy them separate. And they're not leak proof though, so it's not like you can just throw this in your bag and be off and away. But they're fairly leak proof. It's not like it's going to drip here. I just don't want you to throw it into a bag and think that it might not leak. There are the other lids that you can get. These are leak proof because they've got this plastic here that will help seal it. I don't like these because you can't really reuse them too often because they get rusty and you'll end up with metal and eating it. And I don't like them, so I don't use them personally, but my sister made me hold on to this to show you. Okay, it's all good, it's all good. All right, warm pear ginger smoothie, yum. Adjust the taste. Personally, I would want more maple syrup in here or maple extract, a little more mapley flavor. All right, who's gonna make themselves a warm pear ginger smoothie? Put pear in the chat if you're going to make yourself a warm pear ginger smoothie. Yes, yum.
Tina, a couple questions on spinach, if it's okay.
Yeah.
They want to know if frozen spinach is okay or pear, and then also, do you blanch spinach before putting it in a smoothie?
Do I blanch what? The spinach?
Spinach, yeah.
No blanching. Frozen's perfect. Frozen's perfect. Absolutely. I do it often. I do frozen spinach often. Often. Okay. Yeah, good question. Good question. The battery is running low. I think my battery is not connected. Give me a second, okay? Technical difficulties. There we go. I had to plug it in just a little bit more, all this technical stuff. Who wants a pina colada? Who wants me to make a pina colada? Type pina in the chat. Type pina in the chat. Type pina in the chat. You want me to make a pina colada? Yeah, baby. All right. Pina coladas are my #1 best seller. When I don't sell them, I'm teasing. But when I go to fairs and such and I serve smoothies, the pina colada, people go cuckoo over, okay? And it is so simple. It is so simple. It's ridiculously simple, okay? The pina colada, I'm going to start with some almond milk because I have it and I want to use it before it expires. So I'm going to put about a cup of almond milk in there. Always put the liquid first. All right? You got that? Always put the liquid first. Very important. Next, you're going to put about a cup of pineapple. This pineapple was frozen and I'm trying to unfreeze it here. And do you know this? Do you know, who knows what this is? Who knows what this is? What is this? What is this? This is the center of the pineapple. People throw it away because it's really hard to chew. Do you want to know most of the nutrition is in this core of this pineapple? Most of it's here. Also, it's anti-inflammatory, full of bromelain. My sister, when she peels an apple, a pineapple, she knows. She freezes this for me. She freezes it for me, so I always have 1 or 2 in the freezer. I'm going to put that in my pina colada. And I also have some other frozen pineapple that I froze last time I cored one. And I'm going to put about a cup of pineapple in there because we want to taste pineapple, right? We want to taste pineapple. Come on, break off here. There we go. So there we go, about a cup of pineapple. Dry my hands a little, hold on. Okay, get this out of the way. So we have fruit, we have liquid, we need a fat. So what fat would you want in your pina colada? Would you want cashews? Would you want peanut butter? Peanuts will take over the flavor though. Would you want almonds, walnuts, or coconut butter? Which fat do you want in your pina colada? We are going to put some coconut butter in here. Who knows what coconut butter is? Does anybody know what coconut butter is? Has anyone ever had coconut butter? Put butter in the chat if you've ever had coconut butter. Yeah, all of them. Somebody said all of them. Yeah, the coconut butter is what we're going to put in a pina colada because it's pineapples and coconut, right? So here's the thing, coconut butter, Get a close-up on this, Caitlin. I'll show you coconut butter. This one is from Nutiva. The Artisana is another brand. Basically, look inside. You see that? Let me see if I can back off and get you a good view of it. It's the coconut meat and the coconut fat all blended up into, if it was warmer in here, this would be liquid. But since it's a little cold today, it's a little harder. That's fine. I'm just gonna use my knife and break it up a little bit and get about a tablespoon. Because you see, every meal needs to have a good fat in it. And this coconut butter, 1 to 2 tablespoons of good fat. If you're trying to lose weight, 1 tablespoon. If you're trying to just stay healthy, 2 tablespoons each meal. And okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna put about 2 tablespoons of coconut butter in there. And what are we missing next? What do I need to put in here? What is missing from here? We got a fat, we got our fruit. Somebody type in the chat, what are we missing? What else needs to go in there? What else needs to go in my smoothie? Come on, somebody tell me. I need to know that you all are with me. Yes, some vegetables, Now, I don't have any fresh spinach. I decided to buy this mixed greens because spinach is good for you and it's very benign. So if you're gonna start with children, start them with a chocolate spinach smoothie, okay? Because you can make up whatever combination you want here, as long as it has a protein, a fat, some fruit and some vegetables. Balance it out, okay? But the mixed greens are have about 100 times more, don't quote me on that number, but a lot more nutrition than spinach does. And these in here, there's not collards. Let's see what's in here. It does have spinach, Swiss chard, baby Swiss chard, which has all of the nutrients in that small leaf that the big leaf would have, and baby green kale. That's all in here. And we're going to put this in our pina colada. Now, you see these paper towels in here? I should have put the paper towels in earlier, but I didn't. But the paper towels, I always put them in the clamshell because it absorbs any moisture that might have accumulated. And my refrigerator, when I have it super full, freezes the top shelf for some reason. I should have turned it lower. So things got a little cold in there, but they're fine. This is fine. So I'm going to put a big old handful of mixed greens right into, I promise this will taste delicious. I promise it will taste delicious. I know you can't taste it, and I encourage you to try this. I have a friend who likes to put arugula in her smoothie. A little too sharp for me for breakfast, although I love arugula. It's just a little too sharp for me personally. Jam-packed full of nutrition. So you see I got about a cup of vegetables in there and about a cup of fruit, if not a little bit more. Next, we're gonna put a banana. Now, my frozen bananas, they died. They died. They did not have a good time in the freezer, and they decided that, yeah, this is what they look like, and I'm not using them. I'm going to toss those out. They were in my freezer probably just a little too long. They were prepped in there for a live smoothie demo, and that didn't happen. So frozen banana, as you can imagine, will give you a little bit more frozen pina colada type feel, but we're gonna put in a good banana in there, okay? Because those other bananas, not happening. I think they got a little freezer burn, and they got into a little bit of an argument out there. Next, I'm going to put some protein powder. Now, if you don't, vanilla protein powder. I like to buy vanilla protein powder because you can change the flavor. You can add whatever other flavors you want. You can add cocoa powder to that to get chocolate. You can add whatever you want to that. So I'm going to use the same thing that I used for the warm pear because I don't care. Okay, do we have everything that we need in here? Do we have everything we need? Questions, type them in the chat. I'm going to turn the blender on. I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so somebody had asked me to clarify the comment on protein and dairy. I'm not sure, because I made a couple of different comments about protein and dairy. So I'm not sure. Are you talking about the RBGH free dairy? Is that what you're talking about? Protein powder and dairy, yeah. Dairy, the whey protein powder is dairy. Is that what you're asking? Whey protein powder is dairy. It's what's left over from making cheese. And it's perfectly fine for you. If you're sensitive to lactose, does the protein powder matter? Probably. If you're sensitive to lactose, you're actually sensitive to the sugar. Computer, that beautiful that is. That's my pina colada. The sugar in the milk is probably really what, and cow dairy are larger protein molecules, very difficult to digest for us humans because they're made to make a calf grow to full size within a year. If you're lactose intolerant, try sheep's milk, sheep cheeses, and goat's milk and goat cheeses. Those help you. There's also goat protein powder. It does have a goaty flavor. So if you like that, then try that. Okay. But it's still dairy. So if you are lactose intolerant, give it a try. But if I was you, I would honestly just go to vegan protein powders, and there's plenty of them out there. Vega is my favorite vegan name brand of protein powder. Sun Warrior is another one. I think Garden of Life has a vegetarian or a vegan protein powder. You just have to learn. I look at the ingredients. I'll tell you, I've had so many different kinds. Just make sure if it's organic, you're sure to not have a problem. And if it's not organic, that's okay. Just read the ingredients, make sure that you understand all of them. So there we go. It's a little green for our pina colada, but who cares? You're going to get all your vegetables that you need, and it's absolutely amazingly delicious. Use your imagination, okay? Use your imagination that if you don't have any bananas and you want to make this, just do the pineapple. That's fine. And throw the spinach in there. Frozen spinach is fine. If you know what else would be good if you didn't have bananas? Grapes or kiwi. Put those in there. They're wonderful. If you make it up as you go along, guys. Make it up as you go along, because life is good. And you want to eat what you love. You don't have to follow anybody's recipes. They are guidelines. Tell me the things that you need in your smoothie. Do you remember we went over them? And I want somebody to type them in the chat. You need always start with a base of some kind of a liquid, right? Always some kind of a liquid. I use mostly water. So liquid, protein, a good fat, and vegetables and or fruit. Vegetables and or fruit, okay? You'll second the vegan. Yeah, it's one of the better protein vegan. Good fat, veggies, protein. Good, that's what you need. Okay, now I need a vote. I need a vote for the next smoothie. I need a vote for the next smoothie. Do you want me to make you an apple pie smoothie or a cranberry holiday smoothie? Cranberries are so packed full of vitamins and nutrients that we don't eat enough of them. Most people eat the cranberries in a cranberry sauce and full of sugar and all of that. You don't need to. You don't need to. Oh, you want the cranberry one? Oh, hold on. There's a toss up here. Help me out, Caitlin. How many apple pies and how many cranberries? More votes. We need more votes. We need more votes. Cranberry or apple pie? And if we play our cards right, I might be able to do both of them. But I also want to be able to answer all your questions and such. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh, sounds like apple pie it is. Right, Caitlin? Is it apple pie?
Definitely apple pie.
I love it. I love it. If I have time, I'll make the cranberry one too. Okay. Apple. Wash it. It's good for you. I put the peel and everything right into my apple pie. Okay. Now, this apple pie, no, we're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. I just wanted to make sure of something. 1 large apple. Now, who here has seen one of these? A little apple corer? I love this. I love this. Keep your fingers out of the way when you use your apple corer, okay? Keep your fingers, don't try to push it from the bottom, pull it from the top. How do I know? Because I've sliced some fingers using this. So don't let your children use it either. unless they're older, okay? Pull it out from the top and push that from the bottom, from the top. Don't touch the bottom, it's sharp, okay? That gets rid of the core. I had one of my dogs that would just stand there, salivate for me to give him the core. He loved the core. And there we go. We're just gonna throw our apple right into the Vitamix. Now, truth be told, I could have thrown the core in there too, because it all blends up in that Vitamix and you won't even taste it and you'll get whatever nutrients you're gonna get from the core. We're gonna put water in this one, right? We're gonna use water. Let me just double check. 3/4 cup yogurt. Oh, if you look at my recipes, I'll even say it. Sun Warrior, Vega, Garden of Life, Show Me the Way from My Organic Market is in there too. This one calls for the yogurt. Now, I had a little issue with my yogurt. It froze, as I had said. So we're going to see if, oh, looks like it defrosted a little bit. So I'm going to make this one with my yogurt. And we can do yogurt as well as protein powder. Get a little bit more protein in there. I still have a big old frozen clump in the middle there. That's all right.
And Tina, when you say liquid first, was that only for the pina colada smoothie?
No, that goes for all of them. I should have put the yogurt in first. Otherwise, if you put the protein powder in first, it'll all stick to the bottom. And in the pina colada, I put the protein powder last. I shouldn't have done that. I should have put the protein powder right after the liquid, because it just works out a little bit better that way. Just works out a little bit better, less chance of things sticking to the side and all of that. All right, that's why I was late this morning. I was trying to figure out how to get this defrosted. And now, remember with the yogurt, I like plain, unsweetened, full fat yogurt. Your body needs the fat. Don't be afraid of it, okay? And if you get any of the mixed yogurts, they add so much sugar, you do not need it. Add your own sugar with the fruits, okay? So non-fat plain yogurt is what we're going to use. We threw the apple in there. I'm going to put some protein powder right now. It's a little better if I put the protein powder now. Okay, I'm going to use a little less of my protein powder because the yogurt has a little bit of protein in it. And you really only want 15 to 20 grams per meal anyhow. So 1 scoop, we've got, spice mix. Back to my spices. I made my apple pie spice. And in the apple pie spice is simple. Cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and cardamom. Now, I'm a little spicy. I like spice. It says to do a half a teaspoon. I probably did a little bit more. Whatever you like, that's what you're going to put in here. And it's the spices that make all the difference. 1 frozen banana that we do not have. So we're going to put a regular banana in there, unfrozen at that. And the banana just makes it thicker. If you are diabetic or sugar sensitive, eliminate the banana. Put in some pumpkin pie in there. Have you ever done, was I supposed to do a pumpkin pie smoothie for you guys? I think I was supposed to do a pumpkin pie smoothie for you all. Here's, you could just use the pumpkin from a can of pumpkin and throw that in there instead of the banana, okay? You can put pumpkin instead of the banana, but I'm not gonna do that right now because we wanna make apple pie. Banana, protein powder, and what's missing in here? What's missing? What's missing? Something's missing. Apples, something's missing from my recipe. I don't like that. We got yogurt, spices, banana, protein powder. What's missing? Somebody tell me. What's it? Vegetables, yes. Vegetables are missing. But this is one of those kind of like the warm pear smoothie that doesn't really warrant vegetables as much. It doesn't. If you want it to taste like apple pie and to show your family that this is an amazing apple pie. But no, I put liquid in there. I put the yogurt in first. I didn't put any water, so I'm going to put a little bit. Something's missing with this. I don't know why. I haven't made this one in a little while. I put a little bit of almond milk in there. And a fat is missing. I messed up my recipe. I'm so sorry, but there's a fat missing in here. So what fat do we want to put in our apple pie? Do we want to put walnuts? That sounds good. Hemp? Cashews. Maybe cashews. What do you think? I'm thinking we're going to do cashews. Somebody said almonds. I think I'm going to do cashews. About a half a cup of cashews. Threw that right in there. Don't know why that's not in there, but oh well, I'm human. No need to test me, I'm human. Where is my lid? There we go. So yes, you can put vegetables in here. I'm not gonna put vegetables in there. I'm gonna eat vegetables for lunch today. There we go. Almonds, I mean, the cashews tend to make it creamier, a creamier texture than the almonds. Almonds are amazing. They're my favorite nut on this whole planet Earth. But there we go. We have our apple pie. There were a couple of chunks left over. I probably needed to blend it for 30 more seconds or 10 more seconds or whatever. There we go.
And Tina, is Greek yogurt better for you?
It smells amazing. Smells amazing. Repeat that again, please.
Yeah, is Greek yogurt better for you than regular yogurt?
Oh, Greek yogurt, it just has more protein. So is it better? Not necessarily, it just has more protein. It's different. It's just different. So if I don't have Greek, I don't normally like Greek yogurt. I don't like the thick consistency of it. So I like regular yogurt, and sometimes I don't feel like making a smoothie. I just want a thick pudding. So this is what I do. This is just me. I get like a half a cup of yogurt, maybe 3/4 cup of yogurt, and I put a scoop of protein powder in there, and especially this Dr. Axe salted caramel protein powder, and I mix all of that up and I make a pudding out of it, and then I put some fruit on top and sprinkle some almonds or walnuts on top, and I make a little parfait thing for myself. So yeah, that's what I do there. All right, we have time. Go ahead,
right.
Keep going.
They did ask what was the spice mix. Is it a half a teaspoon of spice mix in the smoothie?
Yes, that's what I put in, a little bit more than a half a teaspoon of the spice mix. Yes, I did. I put that in there, the apple pie spice. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just confused on what's in the spice mix.
Oh, we talked about that. We talked about that. It's right in the recipe. It's cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cardamom. And I mixed it up myself. So yes, I did put a half a teaspoon in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You put too much fruit in that smoothie. I noticed you put a modest amount. Quick question, when using the frozen fruit smoothie, is it too thick? What is the solution for if it's too thick? Add more liquid. Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm not confused. I think I've been putting too much fruit. Oh, you've been putting too much fruit in your smoothie. Yes, it's too much sugar for you. Like, do less than a cup. Do less than a cup, because otherwise it's just too much sugar. You need more of the vegetables than you do the fruit, for sure. Yeah, so okay, so you got that. So in our final few minutes together, I think you get the idea of how to make a smoothie, right? Let's just, any other questions that come up, tell me, what have you found most valuable about our time together today? What are you going to just take away from today? What are you taking away from today? Like, yes, I got that. Yes, I got that. And in the meantime, Caitlin's going to type in the chat a free gift that I have for everybody. It's my 10 pounds gone free guide, and you can be part of my community and watch all of my free videos on my Facebook page if you want. If you want to be part of my tribe, and if not, it's all good. It's all good. That's my free gift for you. So yeah, put veggies, fat, liquid, protein. Yes, you got that. Who is that? William. Very good. Good types of protein powder and RBGH. So yes, so you learned that. Very good, very good. Adding more vegetables, very good. Adding more vegetables. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I had this out and it was over here. Avocado. You can use an avocado as your fat if you want. Make up your own recipes, guys. Cocoa powder if you want to make this chocolate. I forgot to show you these too. These are the stems from kale. So I de-stemmed a whole bunch of kale the other day, and I kept, here it is, and I kept the stems and I throw those right in my smoothie. These stems are packed full of nutrition. Don't throw them away. And if you're frying up onions, you can chop these up and throw them in with the onions as well. Packed full of nutrition. Do not throw those away. Good. So actually, I'm probably going to reblend one of these and throw those in there. Probably the pina colada one. Yeah. Yeah. Get some more nutrition in me. So substituting maple syrup and pumpkin for the maple syrup and banana. Yeah. Saving the middle of the pint. Good, good. So you got some really good tips that you're going to take away with you. If you remember, if you want my smoothie ebook, I don't know if the host has it for you. I don't remember. But if you want the smoothie ebook, just type your email in the chat and I'll go through this later and I'll make sure that you get it. And yeah, so yeah, what else have you found most valuable that you're going to take away from today? What have you found? Substituting maple syrup, good ideas. Oh, I'm hilarious. Good. So glad. I'm so glad. Thank you. Very good. Yeah, so yeah, and thank you everyone for being here today. And I'm here to answer, we have a few more minutes. If you have any other questions about nutrition, about smoothies in general, please go ahead and ask them. And my email address, Caitlin, go ahead and type it in the chat, tina@tinamcdermott.com. If you have any questions about today, about the presentation, feel free to email me. I love when people email me. I send out a newsletter once a week, and I have certain people every single week that email me back. Thank you so much for that article. I really appreciate it. And then there's other people who just randomly email me. I love it. I absolutely love it. So do you have ginger that you recommend for these? Do you have a grinder? Oh, use any coffee grinder. Use any coffee grinder. I'm a little on the lazy side, so I will actually use my coffee grinder for my chia seeds, my flax seeds, my spices, and I just clean out the lid. Where's my coffee grinder? I'll show it to you. Hold on a second. I have it over there because later I'm making some gingerbread chia pudding. So here's my coffee grinder. This piece comes out, so I can actually wash it. But you know what? I really don't care if my chia seeds taste like coffee because yum, tastes good. So yeah, this piece comes out. So I just use the same one. Oh, and you want to know, it's a KitchenAid. And this just clicks right back in. It's a KitchenAid coffee grinder. And you can use any coffee grinder for a spice grinder. This one I love because that lid comes out. Good question. Good question. Yeah. All right. Good questions. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here and for telling me what you found so valuable and for interacting with me. And I hope that you take away some really big pieces from this that you can integrate into your life for yourself, for your family, your loved ones, so that you can be healthy, vibrant, and free of any of those diets, free from dis-ease, and just live and eat the way that Mother Nature has taught us to. So again, type in the chat if you want my smoothie ebook. That was the best. You're so, so, so welcome. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. And I hope that you have a very smooth day. Bye for now. Namaste. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.